I got undercut by the developer. It's like blandly in the face that I will take your customer and you won't get the commission. Some people, they want to fight for the sales. They will even throw like most of the commission to the buyer just to get the sale. Someone is gonna give me half their commission. Can you give me also? If you really don't want my service and you'd rather get a discount from someone else, you go ahead with the agent.
What would be your advice for somebody who's listening to this and they're in this spot where they're financially struggling?
When I joined this industry, I would say I'm glad that at the time I don't have a lot of commitment. I would say that right now, I always advise people to join this kind of industry. If you can survive, you have a survival fund for at least 6 months like I did. So for that 6 months, actually I can survive because I have some funds. And I'm able to use a credit card to pay for a lot of things. For those people who are really, really struggling financially, I really, really suggest that they get a job first to clear some of their debt. Or else, in this industry, like you say, like with this kind of financial hurdle in mind, right, it's very hard for you to focus and get the job done. Sometimes I really feel like that.
When you're in a mode of desperation, it'll be very bad in the sales process, right?
Yeah, like throughout my career, I've seen a lot of people like they have really debt and all.
Yeah.
They try to do desperate things and they use desperate measure that will go against the ethics and moral just to close the deal. At the end of the day, right, I don't blame these people. They have problems that they want to solve, but then I don't think they are proud of what they did. Like, so that's why I say that when you are in a desperation, right, and you're in sales, sometimes I don't think it's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say like desperation is not good. I was at a point of desperation, but I would say that I'm at a pretty good spot where I don't have a debt chasing me like every day.
But you didn't bring the desperation in the phone call, right?
No, I didn't. Because I changed, I shifted my motivation for my kid. So I'm doing this for my son, for my future child. I think the expectation and the mindset is kind of different.
You talk about like analytical things out of desperation. Do you mind to share like what are the things that people do to get sales out of desperation?
We do sales and we get commission, right? Some people, they want to fight for the sales. They will even throw like most of the commission to the buyer just to get the sale. But at one point, like in my first year, I think, some buyer want to buy 2 properties. So he actually talked to a few agents. Because right, at that time, a lot of people already run ads. So it's quite easy to find agents. So he found one agent and then the agent is willing to give commission.
Half of this commission.
Half.
So it's
because it's buying
selling,
2.
So it's like selling 1 unit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
but you double the work.
Yeah, but you know what? But the buyer, the buyer didn't find the person first.
I see.
He found our people.
I see.
Like we did all the job and everything explaining. Then he found someone else willing to give commission. So the buyer come back to us and say, someone is gonna give me half their commission. Can you give me also?
Yeah. Then what happened?
At that time, okay, we wanted the sales. Like I'm also involved in the sales, so I have some commission as well. So I actually seek advice from my leader, and then they say that if you really offer more, the buyer is gonna take your offer to go ask more from that agent, and the agent is gonna give more, and then he's gonna come back to you. It's like that, right? The buyer is never gonna be satisfied.
No net positive game lah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, probably both of you won't get the sale, or both of you never make any commission. So you might as well just tell the buyer, if you really don't want my service and you'd rather get a discount from someone else, you go ahead with the agent.
Wow.
We really told the buyer that. At the end of the day, my leader told me, if you offer, then the thing is kind of like ding dong. In the end, you still get nothing. So might as well you try to give customer ultimatum. Do you believe that you give a good service to your buyer? I say, yeah. Then use your service to win the client, not the money to win the client. Right. So at the end, we did that. Luckily, the buyer chose us in the end. That actually sets a standard for our team. Right. We don't compromise for that. But like you say, like a lot of people can do ethical things because their company or their team culture is that do whatever to get the client. Because you know why? Because the leader get overriding. So I don't care how much you throw your customer commission. I still get my own overriding what? Like,
and I would think those kind of teams are not sustainable because at the end, the team members don't make money.
Yeah.
How could they stay? How do they feel?
That's the thing.
They won't feel proud about what they do, right?
I'll say one more thing, like stealing customer. Instead of just offering commission, you know, like back then, it's still very physical world. We don't do Zoom to sell property. Right now, we do Zoom to sell property. So we had to make appointment for our customer. So I'll meet you in the showroom about 2 p.m. Our showroom is at 5th floor. So when you come to the lift, you have to take lift to the 5th floor. That's where the part where the stealing customer comes in.
Shit.
Some agent will stand at the lift, wait for people to come and press. And then they say, hey, you're going up. Oh, can I see your agent? Then they show the customer like our phone. Oh, this guy, we are colleague. Come, I bring you up.
Shit.
And then they start talking to the customer. And then they start presenting while we are sitting there waiting for the customer. How come? He said, arrived already, still not here, man. Then in the end, call the client pick up, but he's in the showroom with the other agent already. This happens a lot.
Maybe it sounds like it's like a wild, wild west in the. Okay, I'm very curious. Two parts. First of all, how did you feel when you're there? How did you deal with it? And also, do you think the property developer needs to do something to control this?
You know, like at that time, like I said, the property is good selling, right? Actually, it's a buy. I would say it's a developer market. So buyer are looking to buy, not developer looking to like sell at that time. So for developer point of view is I don't care, never mind, as long as got sales. Because they don't even appreciate the relationship between developer and agent at that time. They just feel like you're a salesperson, you do whatever you can. So they don't step in. Speaking of developer, I really want to say one thing. I got undercut by the developer. Like undercutting doesn't just happen between agent.
So what do you mean by undercutting by developer?
So see, like I brought in a customer at that point. It was like a customer who bring a sister as well. They want to buy 3 properties. Wow, I was like, jackpot. For me, it's like, like this deal, I'm confirmed like I can make a lot of money because the customer like me and everything. In the end, when we are choosing unit, right, one of the developer staff just came in. Oh, you guys want better unit? We have it here. Only developer can sell. I did all the job. I bring the customer in, and then he said this to the customer right in front of me. It's not even like behind. It's like blandly in the face that I will take your customer, and you won't get the commission.
Wow! In your face, don't give face at all. Just take and whack like that.
Yeah, because he's the GM. So what to do? So and I'm very frustrated. Like I call my boss, everything. They say, come down first, sir. Let us come to you. Because at the time I was in the showroom alone. No one backed me up. So after that, they come, then they talk to the manager and all. In the end, the manager claimed that the buyer because realized that I'm agent, I might not have the best units. So they talk to the developer staff. Because like developer are the person who holds control of everything. So they say, they wanted better units, so they come to me, so I give them.
Oh, shit. You must be boiling at that point, right?
That was the 3rd or 4th month in my career.
When you needed the money the most, right? Yeah.
And I thought, 3 deal, a lot. Like
I was just curious, like, didn't it discourage you from being in the industry, or
did you
want to just say like, like fuck this and then just move on? Or
of course, I was angry and then I complained and I ran a lot and then I don't tell my dad because I have a face. So it's just within the group. And then they told me, okay, I understand what happened to you, but I want to tell you, this is quite common. I was like, really quite common? I said, yes, because it's a sale world. I would say it's a business world. Everybody do everything for money. But the earlier you accept that this is the fact, the better. But here's how you can prevent it. By building a better relationship with the customer. Like maybe don't bring them so close to the developer or whatever. The trick, like how to navigate the showroom. So because I was young and I was like rookie, 3 months, 4 months, like I don't know this could happen too. At that time, like I learned that okay, maybe there's a lot of part that I could have done better. So to prevent this kind of thing from happening, it's bound to happen. Like you just gotta be mind prepared that this can happen. So instead of like being like sulking about it, like this is not for me whatever. I look further. If I can sell 1 case and make 1 month commission, I sell 4, I make equivalent to make 4 months commission. This is a good industry. So I should try my best to play with the rule, not changing the rule and be discouraged by the rule.
That's very interesting. Some people may think that because it's they're lucky and so on and so forth. I think people who are successful probably face more adversities, face more difficulties, face more failures. But the primary difference between someone who is successful and someone who's not is their attitude towards a situation. And a lot of people sometimes put themselves as a victim, like, I look at this, it's a victim. And what I always hear from people who are successful like yourself is okay, this is accept the reality, right? Just accept this is what it is, and then how can I take responsibility, right? Like take responsibility for things that perhaps are not even supposed to be you take responsibility, but you take it all, right?
Of course, I ran a little bit. I'm not gonna say that I don't complain. I complain, but then at the end of the day, they tell me, bro, just figure a way to prevent this from happening. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
Instead of like just being like continuously like blaming everything, I just blame. Start taking responsibility. That's what I thought. I'm become a leader now. This kind of thing happened to my agent. So I experienced that, so I can advise them and teach them to think, how to think and how to act when this kind of thing happens. I always encourage them to rant.
Yeah.
Scold, whatever bad word you want to scold, whatever, just give out the emotion. But at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do. And they buy this because they understand. Because those people who don't want to do this, usually they won't last long in this industry. Come on, this is just a very small thing. By the way, that was a small challenge. A lot more bigger challenges are coming. I haven't even shared yet.
Oh, wow.
So if you really quit because of this small challenge, this industry is not for you. I'm just gonna say that. You see, imagine this is a problem, right? And your eye is focusing on the problem. You see it very clearly, but you can't see the goal behind. So instead of focusing on this, just focus on the goal behind, and this problem will be very blur. But it wouldn't become a main focus of yours anymore. So instead of that just being stopped by this guy, you just ignore it and just move on. And I will say that the environment is important. If your environment is the group that complains a lot, then probably I won't have this kind of mindset. But I would say at the time, my environment is kind of motivating because a lot of them is encouraging, and then they teach me how to think the right way, the entrepreneurial way. So which is why I think I have the mindset at the time to keep going on. The group support is very, very important.